Judge in the Georgia 2020 election case heard arguments today over whether former President Trump's claims about the election were protected by his First Amendment rights. Trump's lawyers argued that they are, and that the indictment should be dismissed. The judge did not issue a ruling on this issue today, though. Katrina Kaufman joins us now from New York. Katrina, you watched these hearings, you watched the arguments. What did Trump's lawyers and the prosecution each say before the judge?
Hi, Scott. So, as you were saying, Trump's lawyers were arguing that this entire indictment should be thrown out because every single charge that Fani Willis has leveraged against him actually implicates core political speech and expressive conduct. And they say that that means it's protected by the First Amendment. In fact, they said if you take out the political speech, there are no criminal charges left here. Now, the DA pointed to D.C., where in the election interference case there, the judge, Tanya Chutkan, already assessed this issue of the First Amendment. And she actually said that the First Amendment, it doesn't protect speech that's in furtherance of criminal activity. And the DA argued that Trump's behavior falls in line with that.
I want to shift to somebody else who's relevant in this Georgia case, the former Trump legal advisor, John Eastman. The judge elsewhere recommended that John Eastman be disbarred over his conduct in 2020. What was the judge's reasoning there?
Now, the judge said that John Eastman committed serious ethic violations and maybe even violated criminal law when he advanced Trump's theory that the 2020 election was stolen. She said that he made false factual representations about voter fraud, about the fake elector scheme, and that he also pushed this theory that Mike Pence could stop the electoral votes from being counted. Another thing she pointed to was his lack of remorse about his behavior, that he seemed to not think that he had done anything wrong in this situation. And so she recommended disbarment and a $10,000 fine for him. His law license is going to be inactive. He does, in fact, plan to appeal, though.
Let's talk a little bit more about 2020. You've been reporting that RNC job applicants and some of the potential Trump jurors are getting asked the same question for their thoughts about the outcome, the validity of the 2020 election. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so this is interesting. This question about whether or not the 2020 election was stolen is coming up in two very different contexts. At the RNC, they're interviewing candidates after firing over 60 people. And during these interviews, they're asking them their beliefs about whether or not the election was stolen, seemingly as a litmus test to see if they're loyal to former President Donald Trump. Now, this is also a question that I've been hearing in the courtrooms. It's being asked to jurors to see whether or not they can be fair and impartial during these trials. The DA, during the criminal trial that's going to be coming up in April, wants to ask this question because he says that if a juror thinks that the election was stolen, then it might show that they won't rely on facts in the case, that they might blindly follow what Trump says, and maybe that they won't even listen to the judge during the trial.
I think people are underestimating the impact and the drama that will be part of jury selection in these federal cases. Katrina Kaufman in New York, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Scott.